Welcome to Chargerville. Welcome to Speak for Yourself. I just got here from SoFi. That traffic was a beast.
Bruh.
Dog.
And you ain't warned me. You told me leave 45 minutes in advance. Mm-hmm. It took me an hour and a half to get there.
I forgot what had happened on that 405. You Raider fans, stay up. What's up? That's me and my boy Acho in the building. First time we ever hung out outside of the
And no thanks to you, because you ain't invite me to the game.
Oh, bruh, whoa, wait a minute.
It took me all of the third quarter to get to you, sir. All of the third quarter.
Well, when you see Roger Goodell, as you did, when you sit there with the top agents in the world, David Mulligat, I get it, you're a famous guy. Way to slum it with your boys down there in Chargerville. Well, it's time for us to talk about what's really going on in this world. And it's not the Chargers right now. It's Dak Prescott and the Cowboys rolling on the 3-game winning streak. And Dak Prescott is a big reason why Dak has thrown 10 touchdown passes with only 2 interceptions. My microphone don't like me right now. He currently is tied with Aaron Rodgers and Justin Herbert. You heard for the 5th best MVP odds according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Tacho, can Dak Prescott win the MVP?
He can, but he won't. And it has nothing at all to do with Dak Prescott. For the first time in this show's history this fall, 2021, I'm actually not going to condemn Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott can't win the MVP, nor will he win the MVP because everything going on around him. What do I mean by that? Whoa. Dak Prescott's going to suffer from the same thing Russell Wilson suffered from, which is his coach, his manager, his offensive coordinator, they want balance. It's not so much about Dak Prescott's ability or inability. It's that everybody on that Cowboys team got to eat, D. Everybody got to eat. Whereas other teams, everybody ain't got to eat. And you know me. I got to go eat at the big boy.
And you got to go eat?
So
let me see.
It's time for you.
Let me see what them ankles looking like.
I can jog today. I can jog today because the suit's loose. So I'm losing weight. You know, them chicken tenders in yesterday's game was good. Dak Prescott can't win the MVP. Dak Prescott won't win the MVP, but it's not at all Dak Prescott's fault, and it actually has nothing to do with Dak Prescott. We just have to dive deeper because y'all are owed depth of content on this show. So why won't Dak win it? Well, first off, let's look at the odds. Let's look at where Dak currently ranks amongst everybody. Kyler's currently the favorite, then Patrick Mahomes, then Josh Allen, then Tom Brady, then Dak. This in and of itself is not at all a big deal. Dak is just as talented and playing just as well as nearly every one of these quarterbacks. So what is the big deal?
Let's go.
Everybody gotta eat on the Cowboys, and that's not the same for every other roster. Let's look at who else these quarterbacks gotta feed. Because you got the quarterbacks, but what about the running game? Well, the Cardinals, their leading rusher, James Conner, we kind of know his name. I think that was that dude that played for the Steelers once upon a time. The Chiefs, they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think he was a first-round pick, but he hasn't really been dominant. Devin Singletary, that's who the Bills have. I mean, he was starting to ascend. Leonard Fournette, he was a dude once upon a time. Shows flashes, but the Cowboys got Zeke, and Zeke needs his touches. Roll the tape so we can see how Zeke got to eat. Can we please? Can we please? Can we please? Now, I just told you, Zeke, he has 64 rush attempts. Edwards-Helaire, he has 58. James Conner with Kyler Murray, he has 53. Singletary with Josh Allen, he has 49. Leonard Fournette, Tom Brady's leading rusher, only has 44. What does this mean? This means that while Dak is a baller, he can't ball in totality because Zeke got a ball too. We tell you on the show because we keep it real on this show. The biggest love language in the NFL is not physical touch. It's not acts of service. It's not gifts. It's not quality time. And it's definitely not words of affirmation. The only thing that affirms you in the NFL is that money, baby. And Zeke, he's making $15 million annually. Chiefs leading rusher, 2.7. Conner, Cardinals leading rusher, 1.7. Singletary not even making $1 million. Marcellus making more than that. And Leonard Fournette,
way more.
He only making 3.2. So what does that mean? While Dak has to ball to win the MVP, Dak can't nor will he fully ball because Zeke got to get his too. So no sell, Dak can't win the MVP and he won't win the MVP, but it has nothing to do with Dak. It actually has to do with the organizational structure of them Cowboys. It's going to be better for the Cowboys, but not as good for Dak.
Okay, come back over here.
Can I skip?
You broke that down. Can you skip? That's how you came to my seat last night.
I wish.
Skipping down the damn stairs. My dog. I heard a lot. Heard a lot of good stuff.
Did you like it this time?
I liked it. As my teacher used to do in red pen, used to circle a couple statements you made. Let's just circle a couple and say, so who's going to win the MVP then? Okay. That's a red demerit. Let's say also you bring up Ezekiel Elliott in your summary. Here's the problem. Dak Prescott Dak Prescott will win the MVP. Now, right now, he's not the leader in the clubhouse. He is not the front runner to win the MVP. That would be Kyler Murray. But that's my point. Oh, Kyler Murray, as great as you are. Oh, Kyler Murray, you're not a falling star. But look near and look afar, because Kyler Murray, oh boy, there you are in the NFC West. And damn it, that NFC West going to be so gangster. It's going to be so much infighting. Look, it's going to be the Hood, Crips, and Bloods. And throw the essays in there, too. It's going to be a lot of issues in terms of those four teams going back and forth, not only affecting Kyler Murray's performance, and I still think he's going to ball out, but as you pointed out yesterday, it's going to affect Kyler Murray and the Cardinals in the win-loss column. A couple of losses for Kyler Murray's Cardinals will all of a sudden make us look at his performances different, correct? Versus the NFC least and Dak Prescott, who's going to perform stellar as well. But he won't have to deal with the same rigors in his division. So those performances will be highlighted because the loss column won't be affected as it will be in the NFC West. I know you caught that point. It was a tremendous one. Let's talk about what they're going to face in their divisions. And let's talk about what they're going to face in their remaining schedules. You look at Dak Prescott, he's only going to face two more top 10 defenses going forward. Kyler Murray, 4 top 10 defenses going forward. That's an interesting point, Marcellus. I'm glad I got that reaction out of you, Acho. Why do I bring that up? Because that lets you know, oh, he's going to go through a little more hell than Dak Prescott. But more so, he's going to go through also some offensive firepower in his division that Dak Prescott probably won't even have to counter in his division. So if you add up the course for Kyler Murray, more difficult. The defenses he's going to face, more difficult. And the fact that he's going to have to put up points himself, but that's going to take them out of their style of play. That's going to be an interesting dynamic. Dak Prescott will win the MVP, not only because he's going to continue to play at this level, and I think Kyler Murray will as well, but we're going to look at him differently when we see that win-loss column.
Big Dog's going to be a phenomenal show, not just because of this block, but, boy, because what we have coming next.
What you got?
But let's stay in the moment, right? Be go. Where your feet are. Let me be here.
Yes.
Peak performance. I love when I get to use my degree. I didn't go back to college to actually learn anything to get my master's. I went back to get my master's, number one, because I'm Nigerian, and you better have a master's if you're Nigerian. I'll be honest with you. I'm telling on myself. Sorry, Mom and Dad. That's the only reason. Number two, the NFL was paying for it. That was another reason.
Oh, hell yeah. That's number one.
Number three, I wanted to defeat the ideology of being a dumb jock. That's why I got my master's degree. So I don't often get to use it, but every now and then I get to, and you just led me to water, so I shall drink. We can look at Kyler Murray's opponents as why he won't win the MVP and Dak Prescott might. But let me educate everyone now for a moment on what peak performance is and what causes peak performance to arise. Peak performance arises when maximum level of difficulty meets maximum level of ability. That is when you see in life peak performance. If a high jumper meets his maximal height and he clears that height, he peaked. If a high jumper jumps over a height that's not his maximal height, he did well, but he did not peak. So seeing Kyler Murray go against top-tier defenses will actually potentially lend him to peak performance. It's what we saw on Sunday. You have to go against the Los Angeles Rams, have had the best defense last year and a top-flight defense this year. They have Aaron Donald. They have Jalen Ramsey. After Kyler Murray not only won but dominated that game, we look at him differently. Peak performance, when top level of challenge meets your maximal output and your maximal ability, that is when we see you at your best. So we might actually see Kyler Murray peak based upon the difficulties. Now, conversely, there's the other side of the coin. If the maximal challenge is too difficult for you, well, then that's when people choke and they fail. But I present to you that cell to say it might work in Murray's favor. Now, as for Dak, when Dak has historically played elite, the Cowboys have not collectively played well.
That's facts.
When the Cowboys have collectively been elite, 2016, 13-3, winning of the NFC East, Dak Prescott statistically has not been elite, not as far as gross yardage, gross numbers. This is the first time through a 4-game stretch we've seen the Cowboys both be great and Dak Prescott be great. However, I don't think anyone would currently say Dak Prescott has been elite. He's been great, but Patrick Mahomes leads in passing touchdowns with his 14. That would be elite. Dak Prescott does not lead currently in passing yardage. He doesn't currently lead in passing completions. That would be Tom Brady. That would be Derek Carr. Dak doesn't currently lead in passer rating. That would be Russell Wilson. So while Dak Prescott is currently playing great, and there is no knock on that at all, he is not currently playing at the most elite of elite levels because that is Patrick Mahomes, the leader in touchdowns, Tom Brady, the leader in completions, Russell Wilson, the leader in rating. Dak Prescott may own the leadership in completion percentage, I believe, but you know as well as I, completion percentage, it's easier to complete a 5-yard route than a 10-yard route.
Oh, I know that.
So with all of that being said, I think those are the limiting reactants to why it will be very hard, near impossible, if not impossible, for Dak to win MVP.
Interesting. Boy, you up here just spilling beans. You know, that's the beauty of doing a show with someone every single day. I spend so many hours with you that I actually keep the receipts. Not even because I want to, just because I always am around you through the osmosis of this relationship. And I caught a couple of those receipts that I now want to return for a rebate or refund. First, we up here talking about Dak is not even top 10. Remember, about a week ago.
No, I said he was top 10.
You said he was top 10, but his numbers weren't.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
And they weren't.
They were. And then it turned into, well, it wasn't top 5 because you saw him coming closer.
Correct. And they weren't.
And now you're saying he's not the leader.
Yes.
Yes. And he's not elite of elite. You youngsters out here saying words twice like it means something. I love you. No, just say love me, damn it. Shut up. All right. So now this youngster going to come up here and say he ain't elite of elite, which means he's not leading. Okay, I'm going to go back to the old Acho. I like the old Acho. I like the old Kanye, and I like the old Acho. And the old Acho is just a week ago. Let's talk about this dude. Let's talk about Dak Prescott, who's first. Peak performance. Tell me if you learned this in your master's class. He's on pace to have career highs in passing touchdowns, passing yards, completion percentage, and pass rating. Yes. That doesn't guarantee the MVP. They just give you a little hand clap and apple pie saying, good job, you had your best year.
Yes, sir.
He's 4th in passer rating. Is that top 5? Okay. He's 2nd in completion percentage. Is that top 5? And that's not 5th. He's 3rd in passing touchdowns. Remember when you were clowning that and he was at like 11? He already had 3 already in 4 games. And one of only 4 quarterbacks to have more than 10 passing touchdowns to start the season. I told you yesterday how Dak Prescott, since 2020, has the most points per game of any quarterback. All of them. Aaron Rodgers, MVP included. Oh, my God. Now, I also heard something else you said. I kept this receipt. You said, I've never seen the Cowboys and Dak Prescott have a 4-game stretch as great as they've just had. Really? 26?
3-game stretch, I would say.
3? Okay, 3-game stretch. Even now, because the 4th game, they gave it away. They could have had that one as well. I digress. I remember a team going 13-3. So by the simple math of that, they probably had a 3-game stretch in there. They were balling out. And then I see a 3-game stretch where I see 79 completion percentage, 72, 75. I see 2 touchdowns. I see 1 touchdown. I see 3 touchdowns. I see 117 quarterback rating. I see followed up with another 117. I see the 140. I say, but I see a 141 or 121 or 127, 3 games in a row. Acho, look at here. We ain't going to do this to Dak. I don't know why we even attempted to do this to Dak. We got on suits, dog. We shouldn't move goalposts. Right now, go put on some sweats, tank top. Let's flex the muscles like you did last night. What were you wearing? We are going to a game. You were fresh. A little too fresh. It's like when you see that lady and your guy be like, yo, this is my homegirl. And I'm like, oh, what's up? She got on white pants, heels. I'm like, okay. Y'all got a month. I looked at you like you got 2 games in you, and you ain't got a whole season worth of games in you dressed like that. My point is this. I'm not going to give Dak the flowers yet. I'll be disrespectful to Kyler Murray. But I know where Kyler Murray is heading. I know what neighborhood he has to go through to get home. And I see Dak Prescott's neighborhood. He going to win this MVP.
Here's what I have to say, Sel. If the question moves, the goalpost has to move. Again, I love this show because I'm not ever trying to be hot takey. But these takes going to get hot in about 10 minutes. And I know you're not trying to be hot takey.
Never.
Last week was a conversation amongst where does Dak Prescott fall? Dak Prescott statistically last week was not in the top 10. I pointed that out. Now statistically, Dak Prescott is in the top 5. I am pointing that out. If the question was, hey, can Dak Prescott be an all-pro? I'd say, of course, unequivocally.
Yeah.
If the question was, hey, can Dak Prescott be a Pro Bowler? I'd say beyond the shadow of a doubt. But the question is, can Dak Prescott win MVP? Conversation of being all-pro is being top 4 at the position. Conversation of being a Pro Bowl is being top 6 at the position. Conversation of being an MVP is being number 1 at the position. So now I'm no longer assessing Dak Prescott as being top 10.
Oh,
that's not our conversation.
God, Becky.
I'm not assessing Dak Prescott at being top 5.
I gotta get this.
That's not our conversation.
You're in trouble.
I'm assessing Dak Prescott as being the best. That is our conversation.
Okay.
The conversation has moved. The goalpost has moved.
Yes.
If Dak Prescott is going to win the MVP, he needs to be the best or second best quarterback.
Oh, wait a minute. No. You just said best. Let's stick to your script.
Okay.
I am a good actor. I can play your part.
But if he's going to win the
script.
MVP, then he needs to be the best. We know for certain
He's
the best. Not currently being.
Okay. Last year, did Aaron Rodgers have the best record at the quarterback position? No, he did not. You know who that was? Patrick Mahomes.
I'm talking about records, sir.
Oh, of course, you ain't going to talk about nothing I'm going to talk about because everything I'm going to talk about is going to disprove your point. Was Aaron Rodgers number 1 in yards? Nope.
No, sir. Sean Watson, sir.
Okay. Was Aaron Rodgers the guy who threw the fewest interceptions? Oh, let's keep going. Yards per attempt? Nope.
These are relevant statistics, sir.
Rating?
Yes, he was, sir.
He got that one. Oh, but you just told me rating doesn't matter, so I would throw that in there, but you just told me. Passing touchdowns, right. So Dak Prescott right now, where's Dak Prescott? Only 4 quarterbacks. So that means a can. Can you? Because you're one of only 4. So we've already eliminated 28 guys, right? So can you? If you're one of the 4, can he? Yes.
I like where you're at.
You better like where I'm at, because where I'm at is where it's at. Hell, here's the thing. I also got to disprove something else you said.
Please.
You said he got to feed Zeke.
Yes, Zeke, that can't be disproved.
Hold on. Yes, it can. Because Zeke not even the best at his position on his team, let alone Zeke got to worry about not giving his food to Pollard.
Yes, sir.
Before he got to worry about is they're going to give it to Dak. Is Dak going to give it to him? You know why? Because they paid Dak. This team is run through Dak now. Zeke, you had your 4 years where we were like, yo, it's about you. And then we gave you your money, and yo, it was about you. Now we gave Dak his money. Don't you dare.
Go ahead.
I got one more for you, big dog.
On a good one.
Oh, you just told me you like where I'm at. Now you're waiting on the good one. See, I keep receipts, man. I talk a lot, but I listen more. Don't you ever forget that, Acho. Kyler Murray. You talk about peak performances. What is it? Maximum difficulty?
Yes, sir. Maximum ability.
Maximum ability.
Yes, sir.
And then you brought up a high jump example.
Yes, sir.
Right? And then you said if you get over the bar, that's amazing, right? How many attempts did they give you to get over that bar?
3.
You know why they give you multiple attempts? Because the chances of you getting over that bar are not as high as you may think, even though you may be in peak performance and peak conditioning. Kyler Murray, he's going to get over the bar. And then he's going to hit the bar. And then he's going to hit the bar. And then he's going to get over the bar. Then he's going to hit the bar, hit the bar. And you know what that's going to add up to? This new system, this new season, 12-5. Amazing. Is that going to be better than a 14-3? And a guy playing at the same level with the same statistics as you? You know how that's going to look, Acho. Like you at that game last night. A little too much. Coming up, week 4 has some winners and it also has some losers. Boy, I'm a professional up here. I'll tell you who made which list. Boy, you were fresh last night. I couldn't believe it. And later, my Chargers had a big win last night. Our resident quarterback, Mark Sanchez, will help us answer if Justin Herbert's squad are legit contenders. More Speak for Yourself and fashion tips for Acho at games. Next, Speak for Yourself. Dog, underdress sometimes, you know? Let's head to Jacksonville, where a day after Urban Meyer apologized for being a distraction following a viral post of him at a bar in Columbus. Jaguars owner Shad Khan released a statement today saying, quote, I have addressed this matter with Urban. Specifics of our conversation will be held in confidence. What I will say is his conduct last weekend was inexcusable. I appreciate Urban's remorse, which I believe is sincere. Now, we must regain our trust and respect. That will require a personal commitment from Urban to everyone who supports, represents, or plays for our team. I am confident he will deliver. So, Acho, you like how the Jaguars are handling this situation?
I do. I really like how the Jaguars are handling this situation. Here is why, Sel. Let me come out by saying this. I am not condoning Urban Meyer's actions, but Urban Meyer made no vows to me. Urban Meyer does not owe me his faithfulness. Okay, I need Urban Meyer to execute on 4th and 8, not Friday at 8. Okay, somebody else may need him to execute Friday at 8, but that is not me. Sel, we've gotten too comfortable as a society condemning people who get caught in public for doing what several people do in private. Woo. Now, you could stop the sentence as saying we've gotten far too comfortable in society for condemning people, but I will elongate the sentence and simply say condemning people who get caught in public for doing what several people do in private. We can't have a conversation about morality.
No.
Because what is moral to one is not moral to another.
Yes.
I'm a dude who believes in monogamy. Others believe in polygamy. Some are asexual. Some are heterosexual. Some are homosexual. We can have a conversation about legality, but let's not have a conversation about morality because no one will ever agree on that one. Gotcha. So let's stick to the conversation of legality. As I look at it, Urban Meyer did nothing illegal, first and foremost, but now let's have the real conversation.
We're already.
Urban Meyer's not a college coach coaching boys who are looking to Urban Meyer to be a father figure, who are looking to Urban Meyer to be their daddy. Urban Meyer is now coaching grown men who are grown men. So if you're looking at Urban Meyer, look at Urban Meyer to be your head coach. I'm not looking at Urban Meyer to be the pinnacle of what marriage looks like because no football coach realistically is a pinnacle of what marriage looks like. Because if you're in the office 20 hours a day while your spouse and children are at home, that's probably not idealizing your marriage. Okay? So let's not say that, well, Trevor Lawrence is a rookie who's newly married and Urban Meyer needs to be a prime example because what's an example to one is not an example to another. Let's also go further and say this.
Goodness, you're eating.
We've been in locker rooms, man. And if you all haven't been in locker rooms at the NFL level, then you'll just have to take our word for it. The level of, there are so many more egregious actions, so many more than what we saw from Urban Meyer. Now, that's not to undermine what Urban Meyer did. That's just to bring in the full context of the picture at hand.
Yes.
The last thing I'm going to say on my first lap, and I'm going to borrow it from you, my dog.
Oh, nice. Wiley is.
This is an 0-4 conversation. This is not an Urban Meyer conversation. Because if the Jaguars were 4-0, this would not be nearly as big a deal. But no one cares what you're doing until you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yes. And Urban Meyer ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing because they are 0-4. So now everybody cares what he is doing. But let's not have a conversation about morality because people disagree on morality. Let's have a conversation about legality. And there was no illegal matter here.
Man, okay, for clarity purposes, first of all, Acho, amazing. You made up for wearing a jacket to the damn game last night. Amazing. Let's say this. I need clarity, though. You started off by saying you like the Jaguars and what they're doing with the Urban Meyer
situation. They didn't suspend them. They didn't
so you do like
them.
their handling?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I like.
Okay. I don't like how the Jaguars are handling this situation. Let's just start off with, I hear an alarm going off, a little virtue signaling going on here, a little grandstanding for my taste, my desires. I'm from the old school, man, where you don't bring attention to something you don't want getting attention. Like, if you're an organization, you have made this bigger, and this is something you want to go away. Where does that make sense in terms of coming out with your statement? I understand. You have a public, and there's a behind the veil that you have a private matter. But that private matter became public. Why fan the flames for the public when this could go away? I got to go back to just not only my upbringing, my child rearing, but also me being a father now. And I know one thing, that the discipline of being a parent is not for outsiders. It's not for their consumption. It's not for their desires and taste buds. It's for me in trying to do something for someone I love. And the reason I bring up a parent in this situation rather than a spouse, because this is about a subordinate. This is about someone who you employ. And this is about disciplining them. But are you disciplining them or making this statement for our consumption or for Urban Meyer? Because if you did it for Urban Meyer, that should have been enough. To your point, nothing illegal occurred. Something ethical, unethical, something immoral, maybe that discussion. Here we are, giving real venue to something that was just small in our little worlds. And this world, this microwave mentality of Oh, the news cycle. It's not even 24 hours anymore. It's 24 minutes, dog. Why would an organization come down with a heavy hand on this situation when they know how this situation is? Let me tell you, there's two, and I'm split right here. You come down on him with a heavy hand because you're saying, look, this is not about my beliefs. This is about his commitment. I dare a player on a Thursday night loss say, hey, I'm going to stay back and hang out with the fam bam, and then this occurs. I understand why you want to discipline that same player, so you would discipline a coach. But at the same time, would you come out and make a public statement, fanning the flame for more people to consume what that discipline looks like? But on the flip side, and this is the part that you and I could talk about, sorry, no moderator, you ain't in the building. Behind that veil, the level of transgressions, the level of issues that occur on an NFL team, you got to know when to pick your battles. And for me, this is not a battle I want to pick with Urban Meyer for public consumption. I would have kept this a private matter and let everyone else out there just have fun with it on Twitter until it dies.
Correct. And eventually it will go away. Yeah. Now, here's what I do have issue with the Jaguars. Shad Khan saying he needs to regain our trust. Urban ain't lose nobody's trust.
Well,
nobody.
Okay.
Urban ain't lose the Jaguars' trust.
Okay, there you go. That's why I'm saying what y'all talking about.
The Jaguars, he needs to regain your trust. He might need to regain somebody's trust, but it's not the 53 in the locker room.
Yeah.
It's not the coaching staff. Now, let's pause for a second. Let's woosah. I need you all to understand. I need to understand myself. My dog Marcellus, we all collectively need to understand. If we want to have a conversation about him not going back with the team after the loss, bet. That's a different conversation. Yeah, right? If y'all think that's an issue, I co-sign. I completely agree to an extent that is an issue. Yep. Now, I've played Thursday night games against the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Several individuals from Dallas stayed in Dallas after that Thursday night game because our head coach, Chip Kelly, was like, hey, do your thing. Win or loss, your family's from there. Stay in Dallas as opposed to flying back to Philly, getting on a plane, flying back to Dallas. That's less safe. So it's not as if it's the craziest thing in the world to be able to stay in a city you're familiar with. Go ahead.
You didn't finish that sentence. See, I didn't say that, and I knew that. Here's the thing. Coach is like, look, I'm going to give you a pass, but don't you take the P off the pass. And if you take the P off the pass, then you're going to make me look like, Here's the problem. This is the only problem. Coach always giving us like a little leash. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. But don't you dare let me get that phone call. Okay? And that's all it is. Don't get caught. Young Jeezy song. Like, do what you got to do, player. Don't get caught. And that's the problem. In this situation, commitment isn't just, okay, I'm going to stay back, and that's a bad look. The bad look is not that you stayed back, because nobody would have known and no one would have cared. The bad look is what happened when you stayed back. This is why I tell my kids all the time, look, you're going to try and sneak and do some stuff. Daddy did it too. I get it. But here's the thing. I don't have to worry about your every move, because when you get caught, it's going to tell me what you were moving like. It's going to tell me what the movement was. Urban Meyer staying back probably has stayed back in many trips before. Do we have that record? Do we have that account? No, we don't. He got caught up in something. And then to make matters worse, to add insult to injury, the organization comes down grandstanding on an issue that would never been an issue, not because of the commitment, but just because he got caught.
The other thing, because you are right on that, is
come on, man.
Everybody says, well, it's a distraction. That's the point we're at now in this conversation. He got caught, thus it's a distraction. You want to know what else was a distraction? Signing Tim Tebow. And that was a distraction for 3 months. So let's keep the main thing. The main thing.
The main thing.
Everybody just looking for reasons to make this a big deal. Well, it was a distraction. Signing Tim Tebow was a bigger distraction. Well, he didn't go back on the team plane. Well, several players also don't go back on the team plane after Thursday games.
Preach.
Well, he needs to lead his young quarterback who just got married. Well, working 20 hours a week isn't great leadership for a young quarterback that just got married. In theory, neither is being a head coach that's single. In theory, neither is being a head coach who's been divorced. So now we just going to disqualify about everybody in the junction, in the function for their actions and their behaviors. I'm at the point, Sel, which is I do think there is a lot of grandstanding, if you will. Man. There's a lot of being outraged just to be outraged. At the end of the day, if you didn't respect Urban Meyer before, you not going to respect him now. And if you did respect Urban Meyer before, you still going to respect him now.
Yes.
But I'm not going to look at this incident as to say, oh, my gosh, I've lost all respect for Urban Meyer. One incident isn't going to make me gain all respect for one individual. This incident is its own isolated incident, which needs to be judged and assessed accordingly. But again, if it is a matter of legality, there was no illegal matter. If it is a matter of morality, then you cannot cast your morals onto somebody else. And this is coming from the dude who ain't never smoked, ain't never drank, ain't never been to the strip club. I'm the squarest of squares, if Twitter were to tell y'all. And I'm the dude who's looking at this situation and it's still like, hey, big dog, I wouldn't have done it. But I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. That's for your wife and your kids. Ain't really got nothing to do with me. Can you coach us better? That's where we're at. But unless your off-the-field actions are undermining your on-the-field decisions, then I do not really care about your off-the-field actions. Now, if his off-the-field actions are what's leading to the Jaguars' 0-4 start, that is a different conversation. But they was 0-4 before. So I don't think it got to do with that.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even know where to go with this, but I'm just going to put my toe in the water. And yeah, I got a pedicure. Here's the thing. Oh, Acho. You said a lot there. Let's start here. Okay. In this world, I stand back sometimes and I was like, damn, how do you apply a perfect standard to imperfect people? And that's this world when you talk about morality and ethics. It's like there's a standard, right? And then how do you apply it is the real conversation, because you got to pick your battles. Because if you don't, we're imperfect. So we're all going to fall short, right? Now, I don't want to stand that absolute. Let's get relative. Let's get specific to this situation, because I don't think this is a situation where you should allocate discipline. I don't think you should allocate attention to it if you're the organization. Or we going to talk about, Acho, you and I talk about some things that is not for Fox and Big Fox to talk about, right? Yes, we do that privately. We do that on our own. But in this situation, separate this, because you led me to this place. Did you used to cheat in high school? I know I did.
On tests?
Yeah, you did. You just told me.
First of all, dog. The conversation of relationships. I didn't know what you were talking about. I'm like, I ain't dating now.
I know you cheat on your relationship. I already know your exes. But no, you're actually a good dude. But you know, you're the teammate that...
Don't laugh at me.
Dog, you're the teammate. You're the teammate that is like, I am perfect. And I'm like, oh, I just got to get to know him better. And I'm not talking about Acho. I'm just talking about that teammate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I cheated on tests, okay? And let me tell you what I used to hate on the tests when you used to cheat. First of all, I used to hate Michelle, who used to cover her tests. Like, yo, Michelle, I'm going to break your elbow if you don't. Michelle, pull your elbow. We used to do that. Number three. Everybody, we had this, like, unspoken language when, the hats, scientific calculators. We all in the game, right? We all in the game. And then big me gets caught. Now, I got to protect the guilty, because I ain't the only one cheating, right? Okay. So I go up to the dean's office and I got to take it. I got to take the case. No snitching, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm fine. I took that because you know what? I got caught. Here's the problem, though. Someone else in the class stands up, move fly. Someone else stands up in the class and is like, I can't believe. Wait a minute. Now we got a different conversation. That ain't got nothing to do with this. Now we got to talk about this. You brought me there because we're talking about beliefs, and then we're talking about the commitment to those same beliefs. All Shad Khan wants to know as he's flying around the world on G6s is like, yo, are you committed to this? Because I believe you are. But when I see an example of that, it makes me think there's a difference in that commitment. So, long story short, I got to get to know Acho better to make sure everything you're saying you're committed to, because I know you at least believe it. Coming up, the Chargers took care of business last night. Did we get fired, Healy? No? Mark Sanchez is in the building to help us answer if they're legit contenders. Next, on Speak for Yourself.
I ain't cheated on no exes, okay? Don't believe this man.
No, it's your nexus that's the problem. My Chargers, excuse me, let me say it again with my chest. My Chargers technically had a home game against the Raiders right here in L.A. last night. And they came through. Justin Herbert threw 1, 2, 3 touchdown passes, and the defense sacked Derek Carr 4 times. The win pulled the Chargers into a 3-way tie for first place in the AFC West. Joined now by Fox NFL analyst Mark Sanchez. But Acho, my Chargers and Justin Herbert legit contenders.
Team issue, Soup?
It is.
You like that? You like that? Thank you, Mr. Spanos. Thank you. And for the...
You look better today than you did at the game yesterday. Can you believe my dog didn't even get dressed up for his team? Like, I ain't never been to a Chargers game. I go out there, I'm fresh. They deserve my respect. They deserve I'm in a leather jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Your respect.
My dog Marcellus.
I mean, it's blue.
Here's
my only issue is when somebody goes to like a Raiders and Chargers game and they wear like a Mahomes jersey. I'm like,
what are you doing?
You out of place.
Either go like gray and like no colors and no alliance, but don't do like I don't know.
Thank you. And that's what I did. No colors, no alliance.
Fashionista at the game.
I was being an ally to being fresh. I digress. Justin Herbert and the Chargers legit. Yes. And no. They're legit contenders because Justin Herbert is a legit dude. As long as Joey Bosa and that pass rush be going, Chargers are going to be very hard to stop.
I'm listening.
I'll be honest with y'all. I'll be so honest with y'all, I'm going to tell on myself. It's hard to watch a game in the stadium. It's the most counterintuitive thing you may have ever heard in your life.
I know.
It is incredibly hard to watch a game in a stadium.
I'm with you.
I feel like I watched the whole game and saw none of it.
Yes.
Real talk.
Yes.
But what I did see is big plays. Why? Because the whole crowd would erupt. And the whole crowd would erupt. I'm like, oh, is that Bosa again? Is that Herbert? Another beautiful pass? Herbert missed, I want to say, 2 times yesterday. We all know the glaring one time he missed, and he missed one other big throw that may have gone for a touchdown. Outside of that, Herbert was phenomenal, but let's get to the real crux of the take is this. The Chargers aren't legit contenders, and this isn't a hot take, because historically, you have to take your lumps before you get to the top. Sanchez should be able to assess and co-sign this, but I'm going somewhere, y'all.
Okay, go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes, he had to lose to Tom Brady before he could ever go to the Super Bowl and win one. Lamar Jackson, he had to lose a couple playoff games before he could win one. Josh Allen, he had to catch an L in the playoffs before he could win one. Joe Flacco, he had to catch 5 playoff L's before he could win a Super Bowl. Our former teammate Nick Foles, we went to the playoffs. We lost to the Saints in 2013, but 4 years later going back to the playoffs and running a hot streak and winning a Super Bowl. Historically, everybody has had to take their L's. My dog, Mark Sanchez, you instantly go to the conference championship game. You go back to the conference championship game. I assume had you gone back, y'all probably would have won one. But I think that Herbert would have to be the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to not have to take a lump before winning, and it's impossible.
Well, Tom Brady.
I thought about that. I was like, what about Tom Brady? He sat, and that is the lump. Tom Brady sat for a year, and that was the learning period. Even Ben Roethlisberger, I believe they lost in the division round before going back and winning a Super Bowl the second year. Russell Wilson, he had to lose in the playoffs to the Atlanta Falcons after beating Robert Griffin in Washington, Redskins at the time, football team now, before going and winning his Super Bowl. So Herbert and your Chargers, they beast. But no quarterback ever has gotten the success before putting in that playoff work.
I think Marino might have been one of the ones to go to didn't he go to Super Bowl rookie and lost?
Yep.
Okay,
lost.
so
never go again.
Define contender. Does that mean like wild card? Does that mean win the division? Does that mean make the playoffs?
Playoffs with noise.
Yes, playoff with noise. Playoffs with noise.
I'm saying all the way. I think they're a lock for the wild card. I think they're going to make a serious run at winning this division. And I know, call me crazy, but they've already been to Arrowhead, okay? He's already balled out in Arrowhead. This kid, look at some of these stats. 8 games with multiple passing touchdowns since the beginning of last year.
Reach.
The only other guys, you might have heard of them. Number 12 for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Number 15 for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. And number 12, formerly of the New England Patriots and now with the Bucks. Those are the only guys. If he's in those categories at this age, bro, the sky's the limit. And on the big stage, I'm not worried about him at all. He's got that stoic look to him with just enough energy, so I don't think he's like apathetic and doesn't care. He's got just enough juice to get him there. And, you know, some nerdy guys can't like get excited and the team rallies around. He's got it all. He's a total nerd biology major, but you put him on the field, he's a dog.
He's a dude.
Right? And so I think the most important thing for a young kid like this is he understands what can win you games. But more importantly, he knows what loses you games.
Talk about it.
He gets rid of the ball quickly. He takes big hits, pops right back up. He's a big sucker. Now, this dude's massive. Put on this earth to drop dimes at the quarterback position. Okay, this guy's a special, special player. Here's my only other reason for saying these guys are going to make a serious run. Brandon Staley. That defense,
there you go.
Everybody fits, and Derwin James is back. He wears the green dot for a reason. He got beat on one play yesterday. One play last night. After that, bro, he was lights out. Derwin James is for real, and he's been gone for 2 years. so we haven't talked about him. But number 3 for the Bull, or 33 for the Bolts.
I like that.
He's the real deal. I think Staley, Herbert, and Derwin James, they're going to be all right. They're going to make a serious run.
They save the best for last or the obvious for last because they're legit contenders. They're the best team in the AFC right now. Them, look at your face, and Baltimore. Those are the 2 teams in the AFC that I respect. Let's go down the records. If you don't believe me, I don't like your face right now. Chargers, 3-1. Bills, 3-1. Looking good, right? But I don't know about that. Ravens, Raiders, just smoked them. Browns, we'll see them this weekend, smoke. Bengals, Broncos, Chiefs, beat them. Titans. Like, who scares you? Bills, Ravens?
Chiefs still scare you.
They still scare you?
They're still legit. They're still legit.
Still legit, but we just played them, so they don't scare the Chargers. They may scare us in terms
I like
of
that. That's a good take.
Historically, they may scare us, but the Chargers, like, we're not scared of them. And they beat them last year. Mahomes sat. They beat them last year as well. Justin Herbert is the difference maker. Brandon Staley is coming into a perfect situation. He has an offense. He has receivers. He has running backs that are receivers in Austin Eckler, et cetera. And he has the quarterback. So once you have that, all you need to do is fix what they have on the defensive side. You don't think if Brandon Staley is doing his job? Ask the LA Rams how their defense looks now with the same players now at the bottom of the league in a lot of categories because he's fixed the defense. Now they're playing complementary football. It's just that simple. Now, in any climb, any ride, we know you need talent, you need perseverance, and you need luck. And last night, I know that luck is finally on our side because there was a damn lightning delay. And if you don't believe in God, you atheist, that's okay. The universe is on the side of the Chargers as well. They started that game late. I still was late to the game, even though they started the game late because the 405 is no punk to nobody. Get to the game, and I walk in, and I'm watching them perform. And I swear, I thought that the delay of the game was really for them to wait on that high school team to show up, modern day or something, to show up and play against the Chargers. That first half was a high school team playing against the Chargers. They totally obliterated an undefeated team. These Chargers are for real because they are balanced on both sides of the ball. Talk about Bosa. You talk about Derwin James. You talk about having the defensive coordinator. You got the quarterback you need. He's a prime-time player. All those things add up to legit contenders.
They are, and I'm not really taking anything away from them because I watched the Chargers. I was like, yo, in the NFL, and I talk to Sel about this all the time. I'm talking to you about this for the very first time. It's not just who can you beat, who are you capable of losing to? Some teams just, you're not capable of losing. Buccaneers, you roll them out there against the Jaguars, they're just not going to lose. It don't matter how bad it is, not going to lose. When I look at the Chargers, they're no longer capable of losing to bad teams. Remember last year, man, Chargers, Herbert was balling, 31 touchdowns, I think 10 picks. Correct me if I'm wrong. He was still a dude. But the Chargers were still out there losing one possession games to bad
one
teams.
possession, clock management issues. Just he had to learn a little bit.
And now he's learned a little bit, not being capable. But here's what we know about the AFC. Last year, I believe every team that made the playoffs was 11-5 or better. Are the Chargers any better than the Browns? I think they're all the same. Chargers and the Bills, I think they're the same. I think Chargers and the Ravens. I think any given Sunday, all those games will go 50-50. I just think the Chiefs are the one team that I'm still going to bet on, even if they play the Chargers. I understand the Chargers just beat them. Call me crazy, Acho. They just lost. I don't care.
It's just going to be an experience thing down the stretch. The Bills have been there a little bit, right? They're in the championship game.
Yes, sir.
If the Chargers got to go to, to Buffalo to go play in a championship game, in a divisional game, in the snow, that's going to be another experience that they're going to have to figure out and either get the notch on their belt or really learn.
Let me ask you a question, Sanchez, real quick, because that is my point. My point is not that the Chargers are not contenders. My point is Justin Herbert has not taken his lumps yet before he can thrive. What was the difference for you mentally, your first conference championship game versus your second conference championship game?
And this sounds silly, but riding a bike, right? Once you've been there, you've been there. Once you've had the playoff game, you're like, oh, I know what to expect. I know what happens at the end of the season when now you don't have just your 15 reporters, but you got all the regional reporters. And when it just grows and grows and grows in your press conference. My first year, I was like, whoa, this is a lot bigger than I was expecting. But you just kind of hit those rungs on the ladder as you go. So you're right. Sometimes you can skip over a couple, but it's rare. So I understand where you're coming from. Those are all going to be notches that they have to, get in their belt. But I think with Staley, because of his demeanor, his defensive scheme, they just keep the lid on everything. Yep. When they played Kansas City, you're not going to beat us deep. Yep. You're going to have to do it 10 to 15 play drives consistently, and good luck. You're going to screw up before we do. That's how disciplined we are. So
yeah, it's not hot take for me to look at the Kansas City Chiefs and be able to poke holes in them. They're living off of yesterday's news. They did it in the Super Bowl. Oh my God. We had that conversation before the Super Bowl. They're going to score 30. They didn't score a touchdown. Now this year, we're still talking about that high-powered offense, obviously, but they can't get teams off the field. They are 31st ranked in yards on defense and in points. You go against this Chargers team and you are second to last on defense. You expect to beat that team? That's a problem. Here's the only issue for the Chargers, and you guys are really hinting at it and talking about it. It's when they get into a moment that they are not fully prepared for through experience. Yes, correct? That's why I think Baltimore, look, you go against Baltimore, good luck. Buffalo, I'm not so certain because Josh Allen's still going to have that little rascal moment. He going to spaz. He going to spaz. He going to throw the ball backwards. He going to have 2 series where you're like, that's what's happened so far. All right, so here's the thing, and I love me some Josh Allen. Here's the thing. There's a mental dynamic that we all are guilty of having that the Chargers need to overcome it. I don't know, they go to a sports therapist, sports psychologist, something to get over this. You know the dynamic of when you go somewhere, it takes forever, then when you come back from that same place, it takes no time? You know what you're really dealing with? So fire. You better recognize. It's really what you're dealing with, your imagination mixed with anticipation versus the reality. Okay. So when you're on the way to SoFi, and the 4-5 helping. But the point is, when you're imagining a playoff game, when you're anticipating a playoff game, we've all been there. Our first game in the NFL, every game, it's this big. And then the reality is, it was big, but it was about this big, right? When the Chargers can get to that mindset, forget the experience, let's skip that step. Kurt Warner style. Like, Kurt Warner didn't take lumps. He took groceries, bags, and stuff. He didn't take lumps. Like, skip that step, and these Chargers are going to be legit contenders, one of the teams to beat. Coming up, Justin Fields won Sunday, but there's no guarantee when he'll start again. We'll tell you if Matt Nagy is mishandling his rookie quarterback. Next, gonna speak for yourself. Franchise edition, baby. Justin Fields threw for over 200 yards with a pick Sunday on his way to his first win as a starting quarterback. But that role is up in the air, for now at least. Matt Nagy said he'll have an update on Andy Dalton's health status Wednesday. But he added, quote, when Andy's healthy, he's our starter. Justin's the number 2. Sanchez is in the building, but Acho, while I get my suit ready. Is Matt Nagy mishandling Justin Fields, homeboy?
He absolutely is, fellas. I love talking about this topic with y'all. I know, Sanchez, you called a game for the Bears just a while ago, provided us some amazing intel that you don't get on other shows. But he's mishandling him for this reason. You can either mishandle me physically or you can mishandle me mentally, but please do not do both. And what Matt Nagy is doing to Justin Fields is mishandling him both mentally and physically. What do I mean? Green Bay Packers, mishandling Aaron Rodgers mentally. Mishandling Aaron Rodgers mentally by not fully allowing him from a mental perspective to thrive as best as he can. San Francisco 49ers, mishandling Jimmy Garoppolo physically at times. Y'all saw in the preseason game, running a zone read where Jimmy Garoppolo keeps it and gets nailed in a preseason game by a linebacker and an oncoming defensive end. But what the Bears are doing to Fields is mishandling him both physically, his first start that he made, where it was atrocious. The quarterback coach, Matt Nagy, et cetera, did not properly utilize Justin Fields' best abilities. And then mishandling him mentally by not saying that you're the starter. Big dog, I need you to believe in me. If you don't believe in me, it is hard for me to believe in myself. Sanchez, I have to brag about my education to Marcellus because he always tells me he goes to Columbia, big dog. Well, he does.
My degree does, too. Yeah, I'm about to say my degree is just
not everybody can be Ivy League.
I have issues. I'll be honest. I have issues, John. But I got 2 degrees. That's what he ain't got. I got 2 of them. The first one didn't teach me this. You need to, too. But the second one taught me this. Okay, I did need to catch up. The second one taught me about the Pygmalion effect. What's the Pygmalion effect, Mr. Columbia?
All I heard was pig.
What's the Pygmalion? Exactly. You ain't that smart. Pygmalion effect, Sanchez, all it is self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. If I believe that you can do something, I will treat you as though you can do something. And when you do something, it reaffirms my initial belief. Okay. If I believe you can't do something, I will treat you as though you can't do something. Then you won't do something, and it will confirm my initial belief. The Bears are treating Justin Fields as if he can't start. So when he goes out there and struggles, it will confirm their initial belief that he couldn't start, and all of a sudden it will fulfill the prophecy that they already laid before him. They are mishandling my dog Justin Fields.
Big man, you still Googled that.
I had to Google the spelling.
How many degrees?
6 years of school in the Google.
Everybody goes.
The hell, what degree is that? Google?
Types in.
Hey, first off, Wikipedia.
Okay, here's all I'll say, and I know where you're coming from. I get all that, the emotional gymnastics that he's having to deal with right now. I still think at this early stage that Andy Dalton gives them the best chance to win and keeps them on track offensively. I think there's a couple things that Justin Fields did for himself last week, gave himself a little more confidence. I think the game plan was, light years better than the week before. Because the week before, it was almost like they expected Andy to play, and then we're like,
that's a good point.
Oh, no.
That happened.
Because to drop back a rookie like that many times, you don't do that. A couple of sacks he ran into, but
Great point.
Listen, in high school, it's maybe 5 times that you got to do a pure drop back pass, okay? You can manufacture 25 to 30 completions in high school. In college, they probably got to do it maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 times. And if your quarterback's young, keep it closer to 5 than 10. In the NFL, you got to do it at least 10 times. But if your quarterback's young, keep it as close to 10 as possible. Manufacture me some completions like they did this last week. When it's time to give him a go ball up the sideline, hopefully he's hit his last 3 completions on a tight end screen, on a running back screen, and on a quick slant. Nothing wrong with that. Nobody's going to go back and dissect that and be like, oh, man, he really can't push the ball down the field. Man, he sucks. Nobody's going to do that. So I think they put him in better positions, but Andy still drives the ship a little bit better at this point. I'm not saying Justin Fields isn't going to surpass what Andy Dalton currently is or where Andy Dalton's ceiling is. I think he blows the doors off of this thing at some point. But it's a week-by-week thing. And what Matt Nagy's trying to do, like I said it on this show a couple weeks ago, I don't envy his position because he's taking it week to week, and he is just getting absolutely slaughtered by media, by the fans. They're crushing him. But listen, he has a thought, he has a belief. He said, hey, listen, I saw it with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. This is how we're going to do it. I think this is the best way. And so he's trying to do it and keep everybody's best interest at heart. It's just, you said microwave society, everybody wants it now.
Everybody wants it now.
Justin Fields now. So I think he took a step in the right direction. But I think if Andy Dalton's healthy, that might be the best option just to keep them on schedule.
I love that. I'm going to echo a lot what you said and take it somewhere else. They're not mishandling this situation. Okay, for clarity, Justin Fields is better than any quarterback they have on their roster.
Agreed.
But he's not ready for this moment right now. If anything, Matt Nagy is guilty of being overprotective. If anything, he's guilty of loving him too hard in Justin Fields. And look, it kind of takes me back to how I was raised. My mama was protective. You ain't messing with my teddy bear. That was my nickname. So you know I was just sitting there like a little teddy bear, kangaroo, attached to my mama. And recently I saw a trailer for the Richard Williams story and Venus and Serena Williams story. And obviously Compton. But similar paths and similar stories, not the similar results. So, it's just me here. Here's the thing. They went a different course. They went a different way, an overprotective way. No, we're not going to IMG Academy. No, we're not going to all these schools that's going to teach them tennis. These are my babies. I'm going to take care of them. And it didn't look traditional. Just like right now, this doesn't look traditional. Play the best player and let's just go. But we got to help that player groom into what they're going to become. We all been here before when mama said, nah, you ain't going to that party. And you're sitting there dog cursing your mama, talking under your lip, hiding away in your room, just, I don't wish you my mama. And then you go to school the next day, and what happens? Somebody say, man, you heard what happened at that party? And then you sit there and put your hands together and say, thank you, mama, for protecting me from that.
That's facts.
Real? That's what Matt Nagy's going through right now. And I'm going to tell you why. This is what brought it home for me. It's not Justin Fields improving every single week, which he is. But remind yourself, he's improved every week, and he looked good last week. And he's still last in the league in completion percentage, last in passing yards, last in passing touchdowns, and he's 31st in passer rating. I digress. The reason why this all hit me is because, boy, if he put Justin Fields out there again and again and again, guys like me who are much younger and hungrier on the defensive side are going to have 4 games of film to study. Once that film cycle gets around the league and they know who Justin Fields is and he's not ready for that moment, he's not ready for these changes, these adjustments, life comes at you fast. I end this with a story, short story, quick story. My first game starting in my contract here. I'm the full-time starter. Bruce Smith, get up out of here. It's Marcellus Wiley team. You better recognize. That wasn't how it went down, but I like that. Anyway, I'm out there. Third play from scrimmage. It's a Sunday game, prime time. I'm like, I'm starting this. I'm the man. And we're playing the Tennessee Titans. Rest in peace, Steve McNair and Eddie George. Eddie George sitting there offset. Eddie George sitting there offset near side. I'm like, oh, he gonna do the flare route. Good. Third play. I beat the tackle. I'm coming around the corner. And Eddie George said, let me just peel back on this young and not inexperienced, not ready for deep. And gave me one of those.
The rib meat?
He hit me so hard that I went into the locker and checked my messages at the moment. And I had 948. Damn, you got lit up. Point being, life comes at you fast, NFL comes at you fast.
That's fair. My thing is this, though.
You ain't gonna be ready,
fellas.
bro.
I co-sign that. But you're going to have to play him by force or by choice, so you might as well choose to. That's where I'm at. You feel me? Like, I agree with everything y'all saying. I do think Andy Dalton is better right now.
But they can play that. They can play that game each week. Is Andy ready? If he's not, all right, Justin, do it again.
But for me, that's how you end up in the predicament. I would always rather choose to do something than be forced to do something, especially if it's coming anyway. You was talking about your mom and them. We can go there as kids. They ask you to do something. They not really asking you to do something.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
You gon' do
It's like OTAs.
You can choose or you cannot choose, but it's going down anyway.
Hey, you want to take out that trash for me? Not really. What?
You said what? Like, facts.
That's fair.
And so as I look at it, it's like Justin Fields is going to get burned eventually anyway. Whether it's Andy Dalton due to injury, Andy Dalton due to bad performance, Andy Dalton due to something, I would rather prepare to play him so you don't fall into the problem that happened his first start. Sanchez brings up a great point I hadn't thought of.
Great point.
What if all week they had prepared for Dalton to be the starter? Because that's how it looked. The game plan looked very quick
like
drop back, quick get it out. Like, it looked as if we didn't have a lot of movement. I don't want my 33-year-old Andy Dalton quarterback to be moving in the pocket.
He's hobbled right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, because I do agree with what you all are saying, but if something's going to happen eventually anyway, I'd rather choose to do it than be forced into doing it.
That's fair. That's fair. I just feel like if whoever it is, if it's Andy, you know what he can do. You know his strengths, you know his weaknesses. If it's Justin, let's have the game plan look like it did against the Lions. Granted, it was against the Lions. Okay, let's not get too crazy. Let's keep expectations fair.
That's fair.
Okay, but the most important thing for him is just get him into a rhythm. Get him 3 for 3 out of the blocks. Okay, get him completions. I want quick games. I want screens. Then I want to work some play action. Then I want to work some.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Pause.
I got one more.
I got an issue.
Get
I got an issue with him. Because he came on the show last week and he clowned our sport of track and field. He said all you do is run straight and make 3 left turns.
4 turns.
And now he want to come out here and use track and field as an analogy.
Twitter got at him.
Which one is it, Sanchez? You like track or do you hate track? But you're not going to use track when you want to. Not on this show. Not on this show. You're not going to come out here using track when you want to.
You're a mess. Here's the point. Okay, I just want him to get off to a hot start. Right?
Yeah. We'll do that in a sport that you love. Make those examples in sports you love, homeboy. Come over here to track. Like, I got one more thing, though. We all got to stop acting like, look, it's 3 former players up here, and we are now trying to look at Matt Nagy like we don't understand where he is right now. This is an impossible situation to be in.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Damned if you don't. All right, who has been in this relationship? Probably you, Alcho, but let me just keep it open. Okay. You're Matt Nagy, right? And you know the real from the fake, right? So you're in a relationship with somebody who has this IG account that is posting all this stuff. And we see only flashes of that person, right? Like we only see flashes of Justin Fields. Be real.
That's fair.
We don't see every single practice, every single throw. Matt Nagy does. And Matt Nagy's like, I know the real from the fake. I know the difference between this person and that IG account. And we're sitting here judging Justin Fields in this situation from an Instagram account. I like that. I like that. You know the real. You know how many people don't live like they post in
things. It's a couple things. First and foremost, here's the trick. Never fall for the one-pick trick. Matt Nagy, you feel me? If you go on IG and the first pick is fire, you have to keep scrolling. You cannot fall for the one-pick trick. The second thing, the way plastic surgery is set up out here in Hollywood,
oh my God,
it's hard to differentiate between the real and the fake. I'm just being honest. So the real look like fake, the fake look like real. I don't know either way no more.
Hey, I always thought just don't go for the full headshot only. All right, coming up, week 4 has some winners because then they built like me. But it also has some losers. Find out who made which list next on Speak for Yourself.
You're right. You have to see it standing up.
Oh, yeah. Include me. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. It's time for our Week 4 winners and losers. But a quick reminder from Acho and this scary self. We're not saying anyone or anything is an actual loser, but for 1 week only. This is what happens when you have too many friends in the league. They certainly look that way. All right, Acho, give us your losers from Week 4.
Man, I feel bad for this one, genuinely speaking, because Jared Goff, after Week 4, man, he's my third biggest loser. America, listen to this.
What's going on?
Jared Goff is 0-11 as a starter without Sean McVay. Can you imagine how, if you're Jared Goff, depressed even you gon' be? You thinking every time you roll out there without Sean McVay, you can't win a game, but with Sean McVay, you went to a Super Bowl. My third biggest loser. My second biggest loser.
What you got?
He's the greatest coach of all time, but Bill Belichick, man.
Chill.
He's a loser. Sale. He's currently sitting at 1-3. When you're 1-3, you got a 13% chance of making the playoffs. He's currently sitting at 1-3. If he doesn't make the playoffs again, he wouldn't make the playoffs again for back-to-back years, his first time since 92-93. So Bill Belichick, as great as you are, and you're great, you're the second biggest loser of the week.
Dang.
My number one biggest loser, the Texans.
Woo.
The worst loss ever. So this is not Pee Wee. This is not middle school.
No,
this is not high school. This is not college. You are not Grand Valley State playing Alabama. It is not acceptable to get beat 40-0. Completely unacceptable, completely inexcusable. So the Houston Texans, I get it. You're trying to figure out your dilemmas with Deshaun Watson. You're trying to figure out your dilemmas with the quarterback position. But as I look at it, they are my biggest loser on the week.
Yeah, they ain't UT before my man got there. Sorry, huh? Oh, okay. Anyway. All right, let's go. My three losers. Let me start off with number 3, the Rams. Wake up, Mr. West. West. What the hell is going on with these Rams? Especially defensively. Raheem Morris. I know you love L.A. Do you want to stay in L.A.? This defense is giving up the most points in the Sean McVay era. Wade Phillips, line 1. I don't know what's going on with this defense because it's the same players, just different coordinator, but not the same results. My number 2, loser, Raiders. Y'all lost a home game in L.A. Come out here. All y'all on vacation from where? I don't know, Oakland, Vegas, wherever the hell y'all live, under freeways. And then y'all show up and we hit them with the hammer. Hit them with the hammer. Boy, them Raider fans were deep. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all took over that stadium 85-90%. But you remember that high school team, that middle school team, that Pop Warner team that Acho was talking about? I think I saw that team play last night in SoFi, and it wasn't the Chargers. My number 1 loser, Tom Brady. Woo, man, not machine. Yeah, you won the game. You may have won the war, but you lost that one-on-one battle with Bill Belichick. Don't act like you didn't want to win that one-on-one battle with Belichick. This conversation is forever going. Who was more of the Patriot way, Brady or Belichick? The Bucs won against the Patriots, but Belichick won against Tom Brady. Season worst in 5 major statistical categories. Interesting. All right, let's get to our Week 4 winners.
I need my rock before we get the winners. Can I get my rock? Can I get my rock?
You ain't scared of nothing, huh?
Let me get my rock before we talk about these winners, baby.
Okay.
Now, my third biggest winner, ball security. Ball security. Can you
don't trip. Don't trip.
Watch the set. My third biggest winner. How about the Arizona Cardinals flying high? Cardinals are 4-0. Only undefeated team left in the NFL, dominating the NFC. The Rams were my Super Bowl favorite, and the Cardinals knocked them boys off 37-26. Give me some of that. Cardinals can start 5-0. That would be the first 5-0 start for the Arizona Cardinals.
I like that.
1974, my third biggest winner. My second biggest winner. Let's give praise where it is due. Joe Judge, big dog.
What do you do?
You bought yourself one more week. He bought himself one more week by one more win. That's it. That's all that overtime victory gonna do. But Joe Judge, when you on life support, which you is as a coach right now in the Giants, that's big for you, big dog. You had lost 11 straight games and trailing by double digits. Joe Judge, you went out there and got you a dub. I'm happy for you.
Back, Joe Judge.
My number one winner, though.
Don't do this.
How about them rookie quarterbacks, Sal?
Oh, let's do that.
Zach Wilson, he got himself a dub. Justin Fields, he got himself a dub. Mac Jones didn't get a dub, but he did look really good. And Trevor Lawrence, well, you weren't the biggest distraction from the Jags this weekend. So, them rookie quarterbacks, they all had good weekends. They my biggest winner.
Trevor Lawrence got on that flight. He's like, nah, I'll go back to Jayville.
Made it on the plane.
Oh, God. My number 3 winner. I'm going to keep my composure right here. Justin Fields. Bounce back. Won't you say what's in the prompter and what's on the screen? You always just go off and freestyle. I do a bounce back, Big Sean style. Last week took an L, but this week I bounced back. You like that? Justin Fields, you're a beast, dog. just chill out, though. Wait, man. You can walk down and get it all. Why are you trying to run and start every single week? Let Matt Nagy protect you. My number 2 winner, the Chargers. Yo, we saw some real-ass lightning last night.
Facts.
Real-ass lightning. I'm telling you, God is a Chargers fan. I'm sorry, Jerry Jones and Dallas Cowboys. That's L.A. last night.
That's how it looked heading to the 405.
Oh, and it was 90 degrees and sunny skies, and then the Raider fans showed up, and God said, let me just settle the score right here. Go Chargers. And that's outro right there in traffic right there. And then number 1 winner this week, man, them Cardinals for real. Never lost. How you say it? Hella, let me hear it. LeVar Ball style. Never lost. Never lost. That's how you do it. I don't know how to do it. I ain't seen that part. But anyway, the Arizona Cardinals never lost, man. Only undefeated team we got left because, you know, those Raiders showed up and then what had happened was they took that L. Keep flying, Cardinals, because we see you out there balling. That'll do it for our Week 4 winners and losers. Congrats to all you winners.
I almost got it, Sal.
You still
almost got it.
Out there. Wait, better luck next time for all.
There it is.
That's it. That ain't bad.
That was nice now. That was nice now.
Look at you. That right knee still don't bend right. All right, coming up, Dak Prescott is playing at a high level. Won't you stretch sometimes? But is he an MVP? Former DB Darius Butler will help us answer that, and we're going to take home the hardware. That's next. Don't speak for yourself. What does that mean? Give me that play second. Let's head back to Dallas, where the Cowboys are rolling on a 3-game winning streak, and Dak Prescott is a big reason why. He's in the top 5, you hear that, Nacho, in touchdown passes and completion percentage, and is currently tied with Aaron Rodgers and Justin Herbert for the 5th best MVP odds, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Joined now by former NFL DB Darius Butler. My dog. So, Darius.
What's up, fellas?
All right, what's up?
Hey, real quick, before we get to all that.
Yeah.
DB, why you trying to jock my fit, big dog?
Yeah, what is
You know what I'm saying? You wearing a casual version. No, we ain't gonna nah me.
Yeah.
You wearing a casual version of what I'm wearing, big dog. He tried.
You know, y'all suited the booty. Y'all in the studio. You know, I'm at home. I'm chilling, man. I figure I'll dress it up a little bit, though.
I feel
Great minds think alike.
I respect it. I salute.
I ain't mad at that. Custom and
y'all
Ross.
clean, though. Y'all clean.
I see that Ross coming out of you. Darius, speaking of Ross, can Dak Prescott win the MVP?
Can he win it? No. I'm going to say no. He cannot win it, and that's not a bad thing for the Cowboys. The Cowboys don't want Dak to win the MVP. But the best thing about that Cowboys offense right now is their balance, man. And Dak came out of the gates. That offense came out of the gates. He threw it 50-plus time. And if he kept playing like that, he would have won the MVP. But now he hasn't even cracked 250 in the last 3 weeks, handing that ball off to Zeke, getting to Pollard, getting the tight ends involved, receivers. Everybody's involved in that offense, and that's what you want. You want a well-balanced, well-oiled machine, and that's what they have over there with Kellen Moore calling the plays. So I'm going to say no. Dak will not win MVP because he won't have those gaudy numbers, but they got a much better chance of winning the Super Bowl, and I'm happy about it because, I mean, the Cowboys have sucked for the last decade, and every time I turn on the TV, y'all talking about them anyway, so at least they're good, so I'm happy about that.
Big dog, I don't understand where you and Acho met and why y'all still in the same conversation, on the same side of this conversation. I'm going to have to get to know you a little bit better. But I do know one thing about football is that Dak Prescott has put himself in a position to win the MVP. So, yes, he can, and yes, he will. Let's be real about this. You talk about balance, right? Okay. The most powerful weapons that Dak Prescott possesses is not behind him in Tony Pollard. You notice I said his name first. And Ezekiel Elliott. It's in his receiving core that's allowing those running backs to get off because Zeke has been in decline since Zeke has gotten into the league. And Tony Pollard, by depth chart, is a backup. But Tony Pollard is also out there exploiting defenses. I wonder why the running game is able to exploit all these defenses. Oh, because of the prolific passing attack. Now, in this balance that you're talking about, yeah, they're second in the league in rushing offense. But even in that progression, you know what Dak Prescott's been able to do? Climb up the charts in terms of his MVP odds. You want to know why? Because Dak Prescott is 4th in passer rating. Second in the league in completion percentage. 3rd in touchdown passes. Despite having that balance, we saw Dak go out there and throw 4 touchdown passes. Why light it up? Oh, that is lighting it up. So this running game is not going to rob this Dallas Cowboys offense from what it does best, which is throw the football. I know that Zeke is balling. I know that Pollard is balling. But trust me, if they didn't have that passing attack led by Dak Prescott, then they wouldn't be in this position.
Look at my dogs. Thank you. See, it's how I knew DB had a good mind. One, because my dude came out here dressed in the same color scheme as your boy, and you know your boy looked good. So I knew DB had a good mind. Now, secondly, you're 100% correct, DB, in the sense of it's the best thing for the Cowboys, period, that Dak Prescott can't and won't win MVP.
Let's go.
It's the best thing for them boys because seeing that the Cowboys realize, wait, let's depend on Zeke. Let's depend on Pollard. We have a really good offensive line that we've also allocated first-round picks to. Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, second-round pick Connor Williams just 4 years ago. Let's allocate our energy where we've allocated our resources. So, Cowboys fans, do not take offense to this compliment. Do not take offense to this compliment because we're really complimenting y'all by saying Dak Prescott cannot and will not win the MVP. The other thing is this, and I think this is the biggest point, DB. I didn't bring this up to my dog Marcellus Wiley in the first hour, but I will bring it up now.
Listening.
The Cowboys can win even when Dak plays bad, and that's why he won't win MVP. They came to L.A., and they beat the Chargers. They came to L.A. and they beat the Chargers, and Dak Prescott did not play a good game. He had no touchdowns. He had an interception. The Cowboys can actually win in spite of Dak Prescott's performance, and their best win of the season thus far, now that we know how good the Chargers are, came when Dak didn't play well. Ask the Cardinals if they can win when Kyler Murray don't play good. Ask the Chiefs if they can win when Patrick Mahomes don't play good. I'm going to wait. Ask the Chargers if they can win if Herbert don't play good. Ask the Bills if they can win if Josh Allen don't play good. Oh, the Steelers already told y'all that. Ask the Bucks. Well, now the Bucks can win when Brady don't play good. We've seen that a couple times now. My point is very simple. The Cowboys have the luxury of being able to win even when Dak Prescott doesn't ball. The Cardinals don't have that luxury. The Packers don't have that luxury. The Bills don't have that luxury. The Chiefs don't have that luxury. And as a result, those MVP candidates, like Allen, like Murray, like Rodgers, like Mahomes, they have to live up to that hype every single week, and that's why Dak won't win MVP.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that. Some of those teams can play well when their quarterback doesn't play great, and now it is a quarterback-driven league, but that Cardinals game, that first game out of the gate against the Titans, that was the defense that really set that table for Kyler to go out there and ball. Now, Kyler is first and foremost in the MVP race right now. So he's been doing his thing. But Dak, he needs to play well for this team to win consistently. They are balanced, though. Defense has been playing well, leading the league in turnovers. Run game is there. Offensive line is there. And you're missing your best right tackle who was out. He got caught doing a little this and that behind the scenes. But he'll be back down the stretch. Zeke is playing. He's actually earning some of that 90 M's right now. I like this Dak. I like this Dallas squad, man. I think they can play with or without Dak playing great. But Dak he's in full control of this offense, man. Full control. And as defenders, we're all defenders here. We know going into play, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. If they're one-dimensional, it's much easier to beat them, especially in the playoffs. Buffalo Bills last year, their Achilles heel, they had no run game. So as phenomenal as Josh Allen was, they had no run game, no threat of a run game. So, if you have to just beat him, same thing there. So I'm sticking with Dallas and ride with Dak, man.
Man, y'all need to stop this, man. Recent history will make both of you guys not only change your clothes, but change your damn opinions on this conversation. Let's go here. Aaron Rodgers just won the MVP, correct? He had Aaron Jones in the 8th ranked rushing attack. Did that stop him from winning the MVP? No, it did not. Did they have the receivers that the Dallas Cowboys have? Not as a collection. No, yeah, they got Devontae Adams, but not as a group. No, they do not. So why in the hell would this scenario with Pollard and Zeke rob Dak of potentially winning the MVP, especially when you got that receiving group out there that is just looking at you like, don't feed Zeke, feed us. Look at how talented we are as a wide receiver group. So recent history just tells you, you can have balance and still go out there and win the MVP at the quarterback position. And Dak Prescott right now is doing something that very few quarterbacks are doing. He's already tied with Aaron Rodgers, who won MVP last year, in terms of the odds of winning this MVP this year. He's third in the league in terms of passing touchdowns. Respect. He's number 1 in the league if you count last year and this year in terms of points per game as a quarterback. Number 1. That includes Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Dak Prescott. So if you're going to respect Dak Prescott for his greatness, don't undermine that by saying, well, the rushing attack is going to undermine what he's doing as a quarterback. Just like last year, Aaron Rodgers still handing the ball off to Aaron Jones and still accepting that MVP trophy. Coming up, Mike Tomlin's Steelers have seen better days, and we'll tell you if the head coach can survive this season. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
Let's head to Pittsburgh. The Steelers lost their third straight game. Yikes. That's on Sunday. And Mike Tomlin could potentially have his first losing record as the Steelers head coach. After last week's loss, Tomlin said he would not hit the panic button. Well, now, after the latest loss, he said, quote, "I'm concerned. But I still maintain the same position." Darius Butler's back with us. Basel,
What?
will Tomlin survive the season?
I ain't going to survive this segment if somebody out there even whispers that Mike Tomlin's going to A, get fired, or B, quit. Hell. Whew. Okay, I don't want to fight up here, but I'm about to fight with whoever goes against me. All right. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. He may have one now. Oh, that's one. If he has a losing season now, what do we think? Sky's falling? This is that same kind of conversation, that same kind of thought process that has Belichick in the crosshairs of people saying, is he really great? Oh, my God, he missed the playoffs last year. Oh, Bill Belichick. Dog, it's called rebuilding, and he's going to rebuild. In Pittsburgh, they need to rebuild. They just didn't know it. Somebody finally walked up to him at Home Depot with a hammer and nail, said, hey, Big Ben and all that, what you got? Rebuild that situation out there. Same thing with Bill Belichick, and he finally got him a quarterback he can believe in going forward. But damn it, I'm not going to let that kind of conjecture live around me, homeboy. Mike Tomlin is there to stay. It's his franchise. It's his team. Damn it, it's his organization.
I really co-sign everything you're saying. What's so interesting to me, though, fellas, is y'all know how it goes. You can be a prisoner of your own success. And Mike Tomlin, he's tying an NFL record right now. 14 straight seasons, y'all. 14 straight of them seasons without a losing season. You know how hard that is, bruh? That's like having 14 straight games and never getting beat. Where they do that at? Like, it's nearly impossible. However, DB, let's be real. Sal, let's be real. He set the bar so high that now we're going to look at Mike Tomlin like, man, has he lost a little something? Does he still got the juice? Because remember, he had 3 8-8 seasons, but this season you can't finish 8-8. So I think, Sal, just like Bill Belichick has done, some people who are so great, the second you're not as good, we start looking at you funny. We start looking at you sideways, like we did in Russell Wilson 2017 when he didn't make the playoffs. Wait a second, Russ, how you not going to make the playoffs? Big dog, I've made the playoffs every single year. I do think Mike Tomlin will survive the season if he wants to, but the last thing I will simply present to you, DB, to you, Sal, DB, you just got to know what kind of homework we do on this show.
Homework.
Remember Bill Cowher? 15 seasons, like Tomlin 15 seasons. They both had 1 Super Bowl title, both had 2 AFC championship. Their records were nearly identical, and Bill Cowher, he done hung it up after them 15. Mike Tomlin, I don't think he will do so, but I'm just simply saying there are some very eerily similarities between the two.
I ain't trying to hear that.
I mean, Mike, first of all, it's absolutely ridiculous question that we're even asking if Tomlin will survive this season. Of course he'll survive, this season. That's football royalty right there. Rooney's like to stick with coaches for a while. But he came out the gate, 5-2 in the playoffs. I do a little homework too. Came out the gate 5-2 in the playoffs. He's been 3-6 since, and hasn't been only been in 1 AFC Championship game in the last decade. So it is a results-oriented business, and the rest of that division is catching up. You got right now the worst quarterback in that division. That's never been uttered with having Big Ben, but he's at the end of that road, man. So they gotta rebuild. They gotta address that quarterback situation. Every time we talk about ball, it's a quarterback-driven league, and they're the worst one in the division. I'll say it again. So you got to rebuild that, and this offensive system that Canada's running looks terrible. If I'm a defender, I'm not stressing any route concept beyond 8 to 10 yards. Everything is shorter sticks on 4th downs. It's just terrible all around. So they definitely got to address that on the defensive side of the ball. I think it'll start to weigh on them as this season goes on, not having an offense that's consistently moving that ball and scoring points. So they got to fix that. And I don't think they have the right quarterback to move forward right now from Big Ben. So you still got to ride out this season with 7. But this offseason, you got to address that in free agency or the draft ASAP.
Man, I got to address something with both of y'all ASAP, because what y'all just did is like when you look at a restaurant that got real good Yelp reviews, but you get there and the food ain't no good. DB, you came out the gate and you said Mike Tomlin is royalty. Of course he's going to survive the season. Then you went on to tell me every reason that he shouldn't. Marcellus, you did the same thing.
No, I did not.
You not came out here and said Tomlin should survive the season.
What do you mean
but
should?
then you done came at Will. But then y'all came and provided all the ammo
I ain't give you nothing.
as to why he should. Now look, DB. Yesterday on the show, my dog Marcellus Wiley said players get paid for two reasons. I agree with him. Performance and potential. Current performance, future potential. Current production, future potential. When you look at Mike Tomlin, who I fervently believe he will survive the season, but if I do apply what Sel said, which I do agree with, future potential does not look good for the Steelers. Joe Burrow got an MVP in his future. He in the division. Lamar Jackson, a unanimous MVP. He in the division. Browns look like they're going to make the playoffs for the first time back-to-back years since 1988-89. Meanwhile, the Steelers don't even have a quarterback in the holster. Dwayne Haskins, don't want to shoot that bullet. Mason Rudolph, don't want to shoot that bullet. So their potential does not look great. And to DB's point, current performance, it does not look great. So he is royalty. He will survive because of royalty. But, Sel, if I am applying those two aspects, performance and potential, to Mike Tomlin, it's just not looking good right now.
Well, you shouldn't apply them because they're not analogous. What I gave you was a contract situation in the proposal of who they pay. They pay who's a proven producer, and they pay somebody who they think will prove to produce. That ain't a coach. A coach is just go to the draft, find a quarterback. You find a quarterback, you got your situation fixed. Bill Belichick doesn't have a quarterback last year. What happens? Doesn't make the playoffs. All right. This year, Cliff Kingsbury is out there with his quarterback, Kyler Murray. And all of a sudden, now he can coach. Where before, everybody, including you, Acho,
I still don't think he can coach.
Well, say what you want. They ain't lost. It's the only team in the NFL that hasn't lost. It's so crazy. We dress up all these issues like they different. It's the same. You got a quarterback? You got something. You ain't got a quarterback? You ain't got jack. It's that simple in Pittsburgh. Draft a quarterback that's going to work, and you got something. Also, fix that rushing attack. Last 4 seasons, the rushing attack has been ranked in the bottom. That's a problem as well. Offensive line issue. But all these things are fixable. It's called rebuilding. It's that simple. But you don't get rid of a coach who has a better win percentage than that same Bill Cowher, who just finally said, hey, enough of football. I had to move on. Joe Gibbs, Tom Landry, Bill Walsh, Pete Carroll, Andy Reid, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is NFL royalty. That is royalty. Coming up, I'm sorry, y'all. The Cowboys are rolling. I mean, they're really rolling right now. But are they the best team in the NFC? We'll answer that next on Speak for Yourself. Right now for the Cowboys, who have won 3 straight games. Dallas is coming off an impressive win over the Panthers and are in the top 5 in total offense. Yeah. Currently have the 5th best odds in the NFC, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. So, Acho, are the Cowboys the best team in the NFC?
No, sir. And a strong no with all due respect. They can't be the best team in the NFC if the Arizona Cardinals are currently undefeated and the Arizona Cardinals just beat the best team in the NFC, which was the Los Angeles Rams. The Cowboys cannot be the best team in the NFC if they lost to the reigning Super Bowl champions, which came into the season the best team in the NFC. So as good as the Cowboys are, let's just put everything in perspective. We should be very content where the Cowboys are right now. As media, as Cowboys fans, everybody should be content. Oh, okay. Cowboys, y'all should be content because y'all are exceeding expectations more than likely. Media, we content because as long as the Cowboys good, ratings good, because the Cowboys, people like to talk about them for better, for worse. So everybody should be thrilled with where the Cowboys are, but I am not going to put the Cowboys in a position that they are not. And they are not the best team in the NFC. I believe that they are the 5th best team in the NFC, behind the Cardinals, behind the Packers, behind the Buccaneers, behind the Rams. There lies the Cowboys.
Okay, I don't know if UT, they taught this theory, Wiley theory. Have you ever heard of the Wiley theory? Okay, the Wiley theory is simply stated as this. Yes, the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC because Tampa and the Chiefs were the best team coming into the season, correct? Yep, right, obviously. Okay, let's see how this plays out. How did it go with the Cowboys versus Tampa? Oh, I think the Cowboys actually outperformed them but lost the game. Just like Bill Belichick outperformed Tom Brady, but he lost the game. It happens. Performance is different than outcome. Okay, so we're going to take Tampa and just say, Cowboys right there. Let's just go there. Now we've seen Tampa since then. We think they're less than the Cowboys. Okay, got them off the board. Let's see about the Chiefs. How can we get them off the board? Damn it, Cowboys haven't played the Chiefs. Oh, but the Chiefs played the Chargers. And how did that go? Chargers beat the Chiefs. And then, damn, did the Cowboys play the Chargers? Yeah. And how'd that go? Cowboys beat the Chargers. Even though they didn't outperform them, they actually got the W. So then that leaves me with the Cowboys standing tall over two teams that we thought were the best teams in the league. Now, Chargers, best team in the AFC. Baltimore sitting there saying, hey, homeboy, we here too. Basically, you look at the Cowboys, they've eliminated teams not only in their division, but the only team we could talk about are the Arizona Cardinals. Here's the problem. Arizona look fresh. You ever see somebody in all white when they show up to the picnic? Watch them when they leave the barbecue. Okay? Little sauce on them there, here, and there. NFC West is going to take care of everything that we need to see from the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals will stand tall in performance, but they won't stay undefeated. Cowboys in that division, oh, they're going to do something. So doing my job, which is not only talking reality, but projecting the future and doing it accurately, I say that the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC using the Wiley theory.
So I wish you would test me intellectually.
Oh, I'm sorry, multiple degrees.
I wish you would. It's not the Wiley theory, it's the transitive property.
I know what it is, but I'm trying to get some credit out here. I know Wileyisms.
If A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then A is
But that's not what I did. I did A, B, C, D, and E.
Here's the problem with both your theory and the actual property.
First of all, I need your energy up, because right now you talking down to me, homeboy. I'm still 6'4", homie.
Here's the problem, Sal.
What?
Are the Chargers the best team in the NFL?
I can make a strong argument they're tier one with two other teams.
But are they the best team in the NFL?
No, I wouldn't go there. No.
So if the Chargers aren't the best team in the NFL, then your whole Wiley theory or actually transitive property is void. Because if the Cowboys beat the Chargers and the Chargers beat the Chiefs, it would mean something. Either A, if the Chargers were the best team in the NFL, or B, the Chiefs were the best team in the NFL. But you were denying both the Chargers ever being the best team in the NFL, which is fair, not even denying that. But you denied the Chiefs as being the best team in the NFL coming into the season and now.
Yeah.
So either way, the Wiley theory or what is actually the transitive property.
Are you upset?
Yes, I'm upset.
Because I'm plagiarizing?
Yes.
Like you have never plagiarized. You went to Twitter, stole my dead grandma's quote. You
already said you cheat.
You stole my grandma's quote.
You can't cheat in high school and cheat on this show. You can't be a cheat. Grow up. Grow up.
You grow up.
Cheating.
Get a heart.
Stop.
My grandma
cheating.
gone, and you stealing her quote, and all you got to do is say grandma.
You can cheat when you're 4. You can cheat when you're 6. You can't cheat when you're 46. You got to stop cheating. Somebody read the T's.
Oh, look at you. You going to talk down to me again. Somebody. Me. Coming up, Joey Bosa. I'm only reading it because he had DN, and you don't know about that. Joey Bosa complimented Derek Carr, but also said he was shook last night. Damn. We'll tell you if he's keeping it 100 or like Acho, 99. Next, don't speak for yourself. Dog, respect my grandma. Shit.
On this show, we only know how to keep it 100 on and off camera.
Do we? Do you?
I'm not going to hijack this statement, so.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, others only know how to keep it 99, so each day we're going to get to the bottom of who's really telling the truth. Case in point, the Chargers were all over Derek Carr last night, finishing with 4 sacks and a pick. After the game, Joey Bosa gave Carr some jabs and also complimented him. Take a listen.
We knew once we hit him a few times, he really gets shook, and you saw on CeCe's sack, he was pretty much curling into a ball before we even got back there. So, great dude, great player. He's been having a great year, but we know once you get pressure on him, he kind of shuts down.
So, Sal, is Joey Bosa keeping it 100 or 99?
Man, he keeping it 1,000. He was like, look, dog, Joey Bosa is Mr. NFL. That's how you're supposed to talk, look, and play if you're going to be in the NFL. But forget all that. Let's talk about somebody who wants to keep it 100 but keeps it 99. Bro. Let's see Acho yesterday. Supposed to come to the game to see me. See me. And you hijacked my moment, bruh, to see Roger Goodell.
I ditched Goodell to go see you in the stands. Oh, that's what lessons.
Oh, thank you. That's it for us. Fox Bet Live is next. Next time, come to me first.